One thing we got to talk about today on the podcast is this Conjuring movie. Have you been reading about the new Conjuring movie?
No.
This has been their biggest movie in the entire franchise.
Why is this one so much bigger?
I don't know. It's made like 75 million or billion or whatever. Hell, I don't even know the context for how much movies make, but it's made a ton. So I thought maybe we would talk about it today on the podcast. It's Dark Matter. We're Midwest Ghost Hunters at Pythian Castle. I know more about the actual story, and that's not a bunch. But I can say I know more about the original story than I do the movies.
In my opinion, the original is the best one.
When I say the original story, I'm talking about the real story.
I thought you meant the original
movie. If our listeners don't know anything about the original story, can you kind of walk through the original story for everybody?
Shit. I mean, it's kind of like Amityville.
You have seen the original movie, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I've seen like 3 or 4
Has everybody in here seen the original?
I have not seen it.
The original Conjuring?
I have not seen it.
So it's just us two.
I can't remember if I've seen it or not.
Well, now, you got to keep in mind there's
Do you remember the hand clapping scene?
You're going to have to remind me.
I can't explain it. You're going to have to just look it up.
On the original?
Yeah, the original. The original Conjuring.
I've seen the original Conjuring like 3 times. But I've also kind of littered my mind with a shitload of other horror movies recently. And I can't...
a lot of people like the Conjuring 2 the best.
I liked Conjuring 2. That's what I was just looking up here.
So what is the story of the original Conjuring? I know we've kind of talked about this in the past on the podcast, but if someone doesn't know anything about it, what is the story that it's all based on?
People that haven't seen it, I don't really want to...
Well, but you can talk about the story that was originally based on. That's not going to ruin the movie.
No, it won't. And it's basically, like I said, it's a lot like Amityville. It's a family moved into a house. The Perrin family was their name. They moved into this house and then started experiencing this activity, and the story is based off that activity. Now, this is more than just activity. If it happened as they say, this was pretty significant, demonic activity. Now, you got to keep in mind, a lot of people don't associate the two, but there's Annabelle movies, there's the Nun movies, there's Conjuring movies. Those are all part of the same universe.
And Annabelle is supposedly the
part
doll
of the same universe. Really?
Is Annabelle the demon that is supposedly driving the Conjuring house? Is that the idea behind that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
I know there are a lot
Annabelle
of
stuff and the Perrin family were connected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it's all based off of.
There's
Even
like
I knew
a whole
that.
universe. I think like the Nun is part of it too.
It is. Yeah, it is. You had me worried there for a minute. I mean, because the Conjuring, that's what this story is.
I have seen the original, by the way. I just don't remember it very well.
The original Conjuring?
Yeah.
Movie? Okay. Do you remember the clapping scene?
What is the hand clapping? You're
Google it.
Explain
YouTube it.
I've got too many fucking tabs open.
Well, open a new one.
Now that you mention it, I think I have seen this movie. I think I have seen it because it's the doll is possessed or whatever in the house or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about the hide and clap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
Wait a minute, but there's also a paranormal witness that covers this too, isn't there?
Yeah.
This was so this was Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yes. I know we're getting confusing here, but yes, it's Ed and Lorraine Warren as the demonologists, paranormal investigators. There's I'm not wrong in saying the Nun is part of this fucking thing, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay,
Conjuring has like a whole extended universe thing that includes a lot of movies.
I had no idea about that. I didn't know that the Nun was part of this universe. Or
I just know because I remember people saying the Nun was terrible, and every time I watched something about it, people said it was part of the Conjuring universe.
Well, Annabelle is also a big part of the Conjuring universe.
What happens with this again? With if someone has no idea what we're talking about?
Okay, so it was a haunted house.
We really don't either. It just feels like something we have to address because it surprised everybody. They had all these other movies lined up that they thought were going to be the big hits.
I didn't know it made that much.
It's huge. Yeah, it's number 1. It's like tripled what they predicted it would do.
So the family saw full body apparitions, heard noises, smelled rotten odors. Ed and Lorraine Warren obviously were called in to investigate this place and concluded that the house was indeed haunted.
Now, granted, it is an old house. We're talking about a house I think it's in Rhode Island, if I remember.
And that's when Lauren said that she knew it was haunted. All she had to do was walk through it.
Yeah. There's that stuff. There's that stuff that I don't know about. Maybe I don't know.
We could get into that if you wanted to.
This is a house
because they're the most famous paranormal investigators of all time. But I do not agree
until we
everything.
came along. Yeah,
right.
They were.
I'm never going to walk in a house and just be like, oh, this is haunted, I can tell.
Oh, fuck no.
When we went back into that Willard house, when everything was getting ready to all break out, remember how heavy the air was that
Yeah,
night?
I mean, you can get like it's kind of like the same feeling I think you'd get walking through like a dark jungle and
Yeah.
because we do have instincts. Human beings have instincts where
But
our
I'm
brains
talking
are like
about the same house, the exact same house we'd been in. The feeling of that house had changed.
for sure, but I still wouldn't have been like, oh, it feels more haunted in here because we had that whole podcast about like how much evidence do you need, right?
I still don't think, yes, even though what he's saying is right, that the feeling did change from when we first got there to went to later. I still don't know if we had arrived and it had felt like it did later that I would have noticed anything.
Right.
It was the change in the feeling that I noticed.
Right. Yeah. But that's why I can't really, as much as I don't buy into that, I can't completely throw that out either.
No, I can't really either. I mean, fuck, I can't throw out anything. I mean, we've seen shit that years ago I would have thrown out.
Yes. Like everything.
But
And in real life, I think in the movie they did more of like an exorcism.
yeah,
But in real life that didn't happen. They did more of like a seance.
that's what I'm trying. This is where I'm getting stuck on The Conjuring. Is
I have an idea why I think this movie has done so well this time around, because everything on social media has been about that doll, and that doll has been missing, and then Matt Rife bought the doll, and then there was all kinds of things. That doll has been everywhere, so there's been a lot of hype around that to drive the interest in this movie.
I've only seen 2 Conjuring movies, 1 and 2. I don't even know how many there are. There's a bunch. Maybe there's not as many as I'm thinking. In the Conjuring universe, there's a shitload. And if you count the Nun and Annabelle and all that stuff. I'm a little fuzzy on where Annabelle's role ends. Is she throughout all these? I need to watch them all. I've seen the first.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, I am too. I'm a little bit confused.
That's why when you said they're connected, I was so taken aback because I have always in my head considered them 2
think-
separate.
They're very loosely connected. Like they're just in the same world. Like probably just one gets talked about in the other movie kind of thing.
I think the thing that mainly connects them is that they both have Ed and Lorraine Warren in them.
Yeah, I know. I should know more about this, especially before we start talking about it on a fucking podcast. And I don't want to sound like a dumbass here. That's why I'm trying to cover myself before I say
The
it.
doll does appear in The Conjuring. So
I mean, it's part of that house, right?
I guess so. I don't remember.
I don't think it's loosely related to Conjuring. I think it's a central figure.
Yeah,
it
no,
really?
it's my understanding from what I remember on Paranormal Witness, unless I'm wrong, the doll is what's driving everything in that house. Supposedly that it's like that's where the demon lives, or the evil spirit, or the entity, or whatever. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. And as someone who's seen the first 2,
Yeah, that's how it is. The Conjuring introduced the Annabelle doll.
it's weird though when I think of the Conjuring movie, like 1 and 2, I don't think of Annabelle at all.
That's what I mean. I don't either.
I wonder how the nun
That's why
fits
when you
in.
said, well, the nun is part. You know the painting. Have you seen these?
I mean, I have. But
These as in like
these
after
movies,
the first one.
any
I've
of these-
only seen the first one. That was years
And
ago.
I don't remember which one it is. Where the nun, you know, that it's a picture, right? What I'm talking about isn't it a picture of a nun, and then it
it's like
becomes real?
It's a painting, isn't it?
Or painting, yeah, that's what it is. Because that's one of the big jump scares of the movie is when they're staring at the painting, all of a sudden she comes walking out of the painting.
Yeah.
So the nun is involved as well. It's like, but where I'm confused is I can't tell where they've created characters, you know, for flair in the movie, and which ones were actually involved in the Conjuring house in Rhode Island in the 70s. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Probably figuring it out on the fly during the podcast isn't the way, but that's the way I like to do shit. Yeah, the hand clapping thing you were talking about was where the mother plays a game of hide and clap in the cellar.
Yeah, that's a terrifying scene.
It really is. That's probably the worst.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the movie.
When you said clapping, I don't know why I didn't think of that immediately.
Yeah, it's a really scary part of the movie. It's my favorite part.
I have not seen the new movie. I
haven't
can't
either.
pertain to talk about it or to push it or to give a review on it. I just thought since this movie has done so,
It's made a lot of money though.
Oh fuck yeah, it's made a ton. And since it's doing so well, I felt like we had to mention something about the damn thing because I mean now there's so much interest in the Conjuring house again. I just don't know how they had enough material. They didn't live there, you know, very long.
So the doll is very briefly shown in The Conjuring, the original, I think, in like the prelude to set up like Act 1. And then later they made a whole movie about it.
Oh, I was gonna say, but it has its own movie too, right?
Yes.
Okay, that I have not seen.
It has 3 movies, I think.
God damn.
At least 2.
Have you seen any of them?
No, but whenever when I was in school, my friends would talk about it nonstop. Like
People
course,
are,
the
people are
creepiest thing
talking
of all
about
time.
it. People are talking about it nonstop now.
The
That's
Annabelle
why I felt like we
doll,
had to mention it.
the Annabelle doll in the movies looks creepy. The real Annabelle doll is just like
It's like a Raggedy
a
Ann.
Raggedy Ann
I
doll.
think the real Annabelle doll looks creepier than this shit they conjured up for The Conjuring. No pun intended. Because they purposefully made a doll for The Conjuring that looks haunted. In reality, you know, the real Annabelle, if she is haunted, just looks like a benign doll that's in every, you know, that at one point was in every little girl's closet.
See, that's kind of the idea behind like Chucky. You know, I mean, the whole thing that made Chucky so scary was that he wasn't. He was like a My Buddy type thing.
Do you remember the name of the
And
name?
by the way, do you realize that they completely killed the My Buddy franchise with that Chucky?
People quit buying them.
People quit.
Yeah.
Do you remember
because
the name of the
that.
demon?
The name of what?
The demon.
In Conjuring? Mm-hmm. No, I can't. Now I'm infusing Insidious into it as well. So
I didn't
that's-
remember this either.
I was gonna say, is it?
To be fair, I had to look this up because I couldn't remember it either. But it's Bathsheba.
Oh, okay. I do remember. I don't know if I remember that from the movie or if that's just a popular demon name.
Shit, what's Pazuzu from?
What the fuck
I
is
remember
that?
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu's something. There's a movie. Tyler.
Is that
Pazuzu?
Is that Exorcist?
No, that's The Exorcist, like 4.
Yeah, something like that.
Or oh god,
One of the shitty ones.
Yeah, it's one of the later ones that didn't do so hot.
probably a bad movie review I saw that I just stuck in my memory.
I'm seeing that the Conjuring demon was called Valak.
It is Valak. It's the nun.
Valak.
It's the
Well, then
nun.
why does this say?
That's right.
What does this say? The Conjuring follows paranormal investigators who were tormented by a malevolent spirit named Bathsheba. And why does Bathsheba sound familiar to me?
It does. It does. But I don't know.
Is that a different movie?
I don't know why. But he's right. It is Valak. And it's the embodiment of the demon Valak is the nun.
How do
I've
they
never
come
seen
up with a
any of these
name
movies.
for these demons? How do they? I mean, is there
have no
is there like a
idea.
The
list?
demon
of-
tells you.
So the demon names it.
Well, who tells you? Who did you say?
So Hunter just looked up.
Maybe Bathsheba's the first movie and Valak is the nun.
Bathsheba Sherman is the main antagonist of the 2013 horror film The Conjuring.
Sure. Has a last name? What?
All
What the
demons have last names.
Do they really?
I just can't.
Oh, I was going to say, what the fuck?
I think in Demon Marriage they changed last names.
Beelzebub Smith. I don't know.
You guys want to hear some of the evidence of the real?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was
let's talk
looking for.
about
I've
that.
got too
So
many goddamn
every
tabs
clock
open.
in the house began to stop at 3:07 a.m.
Okay.
So is that where the 3 a.m. thing comes
No
from?
idea. And
The 3 a.m. thing comes from the Holy Trinity.
Carolyn woke up with bruises. The house was plagued by unexplained noises, foul odors. The family's dog was found dead in the yard. Killed their dog.
Okay.
At one point.
Didn't that happen in Amityville too?
That happened in the thing I was telling you about, where I was listening to the old woman that called into.
Oh, yeah. We had a listener. I sent that to you guys. It was going to send us a book based on that.
Yeah. So that happened to that old woman. Her beloved dog was supposedly murdered by this thing in the house.
That happened, I'm pretty sure, at Amityville too.
And it murdered in a very brutal way. Like, it wasn't just dead. Like, it was torn apart.
Damn.
Yeah. The family encountered a malevolent spirit. The activity intensified. Did I tell you about that old woman that called in to, why am I forgetting the name? Coast to Coast?
Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell.
Art Bell. The old woman who called into that, she saw this thing. Did I tell you about
She
this?
saw what thing?
She saw the thing.
Oh.
Like, she went up to the attic and this thing supposedly like materialized.
What
in
did it
front of
look
her.
like?
Like a fucking demon.
What's that look like?
Like horns and all.
Oh,
like
shit.
what you
Okay.
think of when you think of a demon. This thing looked like it. Is what she says. And then it started writing on the mirror downstairs. She communicated with this thing.
She saw it standing there writing on the mirror?
No. Two separate
Just say,
incidences.
why didn't it just speak?
Like, upstairs, it just materialized. It didn't say a word. Downstairs in the bathroom, throughout the 4 or 5 years that she was experiencing this, it started leaving messages on the bathroom mirror.
Huh. I do remember you mentioning that.
And she would actually like write messages back to it.
Fuck you.
So they had like a dialogue.
WYD.
And at one point they even like made a bargain and came to an understanding.
What?
Yeah, it's very wild. Like,
I didn't know you could reason with.
It wasn't really reason. Like, the thing supposedly wanted her mother-in-law, because her mother-in-law was promised to it generations ago
Oh, okay. Like as a sacrifice.
as some kind of deal that somebody made. So like she said, okay, well, when my mother-in-law dies, you can do whatever you want, but in the meantime, leave the rest of my family out of it. And it like agreed to this.
When my mother-in-law dies, have at it.
Right. Well, that's basically because what can you do?
Yeah.
If
So I can sell someone else's soul?
I guess so.
No.
Yeah.
She didn't sell her soul. The soul had already been claimed. Generations ago, someone had made
Yeah,
this
how
deal.
do I do that?
I don't know.
Is that a deal you're going to try to swing?
If I can?
It wasn't like your soul. It was like somebody in your bloodline. You want to sacrifice like your great-grandchild? You are a piece of shit, aren't you? You truly are one of the most selfish pieces of shit on this planet.
I can find a few.
Don't hurt me. Take my grandchild.
I didn't know. I need to look.
I'm looking
more.
forward to the book that this listener is going to send to us.
I wanted to look and see.
I am kind of
that
disappointed
was.
that there is a book.
Okay, because
Like
the
when
money part?
when she was calling into our bell, I didn't hear her mention a book. She
I don't
must
know
have.
that. I don't know that she wrote it. I'm gonna look it up.
surely
here.
not.
I'm gonna look it up here real quick.
You usually have ghostwriters for that. Thank you.
I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the lady who sent the book. I'll find it here in a minute.
And give her a shout out because that was pretty nice if she does do that. There's actually 2 books. I looked into this when you sent that because I was like, oh man, she wrote a book. Because I was a little disappointed there was a book, and you know why, right?
Right, because of the money part.
Because it kind of I don't know. It makes me feel kind of. It makes me look
Makes
at
you
her.
think that it's not as valid.
Right, it makes me look at her whole story in a different light. Because I thought she was just this scared old woman calling into Art Bell, and now I'm finding out, oh, she wrote a book. So I mean, that's pretty good publicity. If you're
But
gonna,
I don't know if she wrote it. That's what I was trying to find.
Well, I
I
mean,
can't find anything.
it doesn't. I'm
looking
sure
for.
whether she wrote it or not doesn't really matter. If it's her story, she probably has rights to it. So
Yeah,
she would
that's
have made
probably
money.
true. That's probably true.
She almost certainly didn't sit down and write it. People rarely do. You usually hire someone to do that. But either way, you're going to make money from it, and that's kind of disappointing. But I looked into it, and there's actually 2 books. One of them is a book about the actual story.
What is it called?
Don't know. Can't remember. And then the other one is a book that they wrote that's fictionalized, that
Okay.
kind of adds like a narrative to it.
What's the point of that one?
I don't know. Isn't that kind of strange
Yeah,
too?
that's kind of dumb. But I guess it's no different than.
Because in my opinion, whatever fiction you attach to this can't be more interesting than the story I heard her tell.
Yeah, but you know how people are. That's why The Conjuring's the way it is. That's why Amityville's the way it is, and all that shit. They had a lot of shit in there, eye candy. That people want to see when they go to a movie. Same thing when people read a book. I assume they want certain shit to happen.
Yeah, they don't want to go to a movie and watch like 5 dudes sat in a room and nothing happens for 4.5 hours, and
Right.
So
one of them raises a shirt and starts tickling his own nipples. Like nobody wants to see this kind of stuff.
for some reason, anytime I'm looking for shit, like now, I can't find it. I can't even find that I sent you anything about a fucking book.
Well, part of that problem is because we have like 13 different message threads that
I think that's probably, no, I just looked through 3.
AI says you cannot sell another person's soul to a demon, as souls are not a commodity to be traded.
Well, I don't know.
So AI has better ethics than Ty?
Yes. Well, I could have told you that
hold on
before
there.
we Googled anything.
This means you cannot force or trick another person's soul into a pact, even if they are in your bloodline.
Okay.
Force
so-
or trick another person into a pact.
So you can't give away your mother-in-law's soul is what it's saying.
But I think the difference is, and this is a dumbass fucking thing to debate. I think the difference is she'd already done that, right?
It wasn't even her. It was like generations ago. This mother-in-law's great grandmother or grandfather had already like bargained her soul away.
Okay, I see. And that's what Ty's saying breaks the rules of demon conduct.
Yes.
The code of conduct.
Yes.
I think what I'm saying is it sounds like bullshit.
Well, all this shit sounds like bullshit. I mean, it sounds like bullshit. I mean, all of it.
You haven't even heard all of this woman's claims. There's no way you listened to the Art Bell episode.
I did.
He sits with her and talks with her the whole time.
I'm going to put a link to that on the
A
website.
lot of it's funny how like some of the stuff we've caught is so common everywhere else.
Like what? What do you mean? What's common?
Because like I was thinking of this while I was watching and listening. We didn't get together with her and say, oh, we should say this and this, right? Like foul odors, strange odors. We've smelled smoke in a house that later burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
We've smelled that smells like sulfur or something rotting.
Yeah.
That's common in places that are supposedly haunted. That happens all the time.
Yeah. It is.
Sulfur, rotten egg smells.
Right. And so
We had that in Ashley's house.
that sounds like bullshit, but like it happens in a majority of places that are experiencing this. So it's a commonality. And we didn't get together with her and say, we should both say this. Obviously.
Yeah. Who's the her you're talking about?
The lady that called-
lady in the
The Art Bell lady.
Yeah. Okay.
Or anybody that experiences
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've always been interested in like the commonalities that are found between these places. things that happen here and also happen there.
I can't think of anywhere else. Oh wait, yeah, I can. There have been a couple places where we smelled the rotten smell. It was Ashley's house once, and then the other one was a house, and I don't know where the fuck we were. I think we were in Bolivar because I think Tyler was on a ladder in the hallway.
Yeah.
It's on the EVP. You're trying to find the source of
rotten
the smell.
eggs.
We played that EVP recently.
Yeah, because you're climbing a ladder to smell the vent to
Yeah,
see
it
if
smelled
something's
like
dead
shit.
up in the ventilation. So yeah, as far as commonalities go, we've experienced that before.
Several times.
To me, in my head, that adds a little bit of credibility because this person experienced something that we've also experienced.
I'm gonna put a link to that whole YouTube. That's a YouTube link, right? With the Art Bell, that 3 and 4 hour long thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's gonna want to sit and listen for 4 hours.
I tell you, once you listen to the first 30 minutes, I think you're going to want to finish it. It's very good. And part of that's just because Art Bell is so fucking good at what he did. He's just the best.
Yeah, he was really good. I'm going to put a link to it up on the website. I'm not doing it at this moment because I'm having a little trouble, of course, finding the fucking link. Oh, you have it right there. What is the book? Okay, shit. How did you find that? It's on one of the threads, of course, I didn't look at. The book is called A Deadly Haunting.
That's right.
And it's written by Joey Albrecht. It's based on the story of Deborah Moffat.
Deborah Moffat, that's
Deborah
it.
Moffat. Okay. I don't know why the hell I couldn't
Old
find
Debbie.
it.
I don't even know if she's still around.
Old Debbie.
Well, I'm going to find out because I am going to put...
It got terrifying in that place, man. Like, remember how we always joke about, like, if this thing, remember we've said this many times, if this thing can move this table, right? This heavy ass table and stack chairs and do all the other kinds of crazy shit that these things do. What's stopping it from grabbing a knife?
Oh yeah. We said that many times.
Well,
even when we did Erica's house
In this house,
Sparta.
in Deborah's house, knives were thrown. Knives were thrown, like while they're sitting and eating dinner, there'll be a knife fly and hit the wall.
Right.
But if they can do that, why not pull a Darth Vader and just crush your windpipe?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know.
You know, I mean, because Darth Vader did that. I mean, the Admiral in Empire Strikes Back came out of light speed too fast, alerted the rebels, and so then he kills that guy, says, "You're in charge now, Admiral Fiat."
Yes, this all happened.
There's
That's
a great
impressive.
deal of esophageal crushing in that.
There is. Now, in Debbie's house, these knives that were thrown, the crazy thing about it is they didn't own these knives. They don't know where they came from.
What?
In fact, she said don't look at me. I didn't write this.
Quit lying, motherfucker.
You idiot. I'm not the one. I'm just
Fucking
the messenger
liar.
here.
Yeah, but if you're a spirit, I mean, is creating a knife that hard a thing to do?
I don't know about
mean,
creating, but somehow they got there because they would collect
Picturing a bunch of demons in a Santa's workshop.
they would collect these knives and take them outside on the back porch and put them in a box.
What?
And
And they still have where are those knives now?
The knives would just fill up. And it also like did other things.
The demon puts like Vaporware on it.
They would go eat at a friend's house, right?
Yeah.
And this one story she told, she said it was almost like it was trying to seclude them because they would go out to a friend's house and they'd come home and their friend's wallet that they just went to a different house was sitting on their kitchen table. And so that puts them in a very strange position because they've got to go return this wallet.
Yeah, because it looks like
And
they
of
took
course
the
it
fucking
looks
thing.
like they fucking stole it.
right?
And so, of course, those friends never probably wanted to talk to you again.
I'd throw it out in the damn street.
Would you take the money out first?
No.
But anyway, that's the kind of weird shit that was happening in this place. And the stories go on. So these are just like a couple of... This is a 4.5 hour long fucking YouTube video of Art Bell talking to this woman. And
So it turns out there's a bunch of Deborah Moffats. I'm trying to find. So there's a ton of obituaries. I'm trying to see if she's dead. I can't even find out how old she is.
that Art Bell episode that she called in was obviously many years ago.
Yeah. And we've talked about it several times. So we'll put it up on the website so people can watch it because it is interesting. I watched like an hour and a half, 2 hours of it. I haven't finished it yet, but it is, as it goes, it gets more and more compelling and more believable.
I don't want to toot my own horn here. I'm pretty good at reading people.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of tell when someone has ulterior motives. That's why I was kind of disappointed about learning that she wrote a book. Is because that
Well, yeah, but hell, you have that. If that happened to you.
you can't. That's the double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
If we ever compile the list of our best evidence into a book, does that diminish our evidence?
I don't think it does.
Ghost Hunters has several books.
Well,
The
I know,
guys-
but
I mean, look, I think that you've got to. I understand where you're coming from, and I do agree with you that if there's economic motive, then that gives somebody a reason to do that. But
Our whole discussion we had at the beginning of this 15, 20 years ago was let's not charge money
Yeah,
because we thought it would make
we
us more
don't.
credible.
Right, but at the same time, if you are charging money and then you can afford to buy FLIR cameras, you can afford to buy things that are greater things.
I don't know that
I don't know that that's necessarily makes you invalid.
Yeah, I don't know that it washes it all away. I have seen some groups that are selling everything. They're selling a ride to the investigation. They're selling, renting their equipment, while
Right.
the people are with them and all that shit.
I don't think
gets a
that
little weird.
necessarily, I don't think it necessarily throws out everything, but it does add a layer of suspicion.
Yeah, it does. I do want to see. There's a bunch of shit I want to see. Going back to the movies, The Conjuring. I feel like I'm gonna have to see it now, but shit, I feel like I need to watch the others again.
I need to watch the original.
The original's good.
Are they all connected, or are they going to do like what Halloween was connected, except for like Halloween 3, which had nothing to do with anything?
So that's Season of the Witch, and there's a reason.
It was originally going to be an anthology, right?
What, Halloween?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
going to be the first 2 movies were like Michael Myers, and then the next ones
didn't
were
the
all
producer
contained
not
stories.
want to? Didn't
Right.
the producer say, "I'm done. I'm not making any more," and so they just made it, stuck the name on it, or something like that?
What I've heard is that something like what John said, where John Carpenter or whoever said, I don't want to make any more. So they took the script from another horror movie that had been written.
That's correct.
And stamped they made a few references
Hunter's
to...
also correct. Like originally, Halloween was going to be an anthology, meaning each movie was a different story.
That's why it was called Halloween. 'Cause it was,
And the only thing, because Halloween.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, and the only thing connecting them was going to be John Carpenter.
Well, they fucked that up by making the second one with Michael Myers
you have
also
to make
in
this.
it.
You have to make the second one.
Me and John rented Halloween 3 Season of the Witch back in, I don't know, 19...
When it was fairly new.
When Halloween comes out and it makes as much money as it did and becomes such a cultural phenomenon, the studio's not going to say, "Don't make another one."
I will never forget you and I, because here's what happened to me and John one time. We used to go to the movie store every Friday and Saturday, rent a shitload of horror movies.
Yes.
We'd pick ones that looked real bad, or we'd pick ones we just hadn't seen. One time we rented a movie, and I don't remember which one we tried to rent, but remember when we popped the tape in and it was fucking Bette Midler's Beaches?
Yes. Yes.
We watched it for like 15 minutes and like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, well, we thought it was like we thought that someone was going to come out and start murdering people or something.
But turns out it was just Beaches by Bette Midler. It was labeled on the tape with the right name.
So
it was just the wrong tape inside.
Somebody fucked with you.
So shortly after that, we rented this Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and we thought the same shit happened. We're waiting for Michael Myers for so long. And finally, it gets to the point where it's like, he's not going to be in this.
Right.
did you get the
This is
commercial
all
song
Silver
stuck in your
Shamrock.
head?
Yeah. This is all Silver Shamrock. Now, as a standalone horror movie, I think that movie's good. I do.
Season of the
It's
Witch?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
think it's
is,
good.
as long as you're not waiting for Michael Myers.
I don't think tattooing the Halloween franchise logo on it's the right thing.
But again, that's a cool idea. Making an anthology series like that.
Oh, I agree. That's what like Tales from the Crypt, type
Yeah,
stuff.
that one.
Yeah, or even the Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember the Nightmare on Elm Street thing that was on every Friday night? It was
Yeah.
a different horror story every
Now,
Friday.
didn't they get Halloween 2 out really quick? I mean,
Yeah, I think like within a year or two.
Halloween 2, like the entire thing was shot in a fucking hospital, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
most
wasn't
of it.
Lori like bedbound the whole movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was, but she found a way to get out of that bed.
Yeah,
with
at
Michael
the
Myers.
end she wasn't.
The whole nurse's station gets murdered.
Yeah.
I remember that
You know
one.
what that movie reminds me of? That you said Nurse's Station. I remember watching that a few years ago. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the real, like someone we know who has a story about a nurse's station.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't thinking of that.
Oh, I was. I thought about that every time I watched that movie. Of like the
I don't know that I've watched Halloween 2 since I known that story. But yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. A tale that we were told about, an actual nurse who saw, actual weird shit
See,
happen.
I think that Halloween is actually scarier before Michael Myers becomes incredibly invincible. I think
Well, here's the thing: is like by the time they get to Halloween 2, they've abandoned a lot of the rules they'd set for Halloween 1. But what I mean there is when John Carpenter did Halloween 1, he specifically wanted it to be atmospheric. He wanted to use lighting. He wanted to use colors to make it scary, not blood. There's no blood in Halloween 1 at all, not one drop. Even when he stabs the guy 4 feet off the ground up against the wall, that dude does not bleed. Halloween 2 is as bloody as fuck. So they kind of went to the slasher route by the time they got to Halloween 2.
And I also think that the idea that he becomes this invincible creature that you can't stop really kind of takes some of it away. Whereas before, if he's just some creepy guy hanging around in the
So he
dark,
becomes supernatural.
Didn't they cut Jason up to pieces once?
Jason went to space.
I know Jason.
yeah. See, the Jason.
Jesus
See, that just
Christ.
got so ridiculous.
I'm not
See,
a
that,
fan
that
of
movie's kind of funny, though.
Has anybody seen that? Have you guys all seen?
I've seen.
I watched
remember when it
Jason
released.
fight Freddy Krueger one time in a movie.
That was, I saw
God,
that.
that
too.
movie was
Yeah, that was
not very good.
That was lame. But I swear, unless I've created this in my mind, they chopped Jason up once, and didn't his pieces start going back
Yes,
together?
they flew back together. I mean, it's just. Oh my God.
So I mean, shit.
This goes back to why, like, first of all, John Carpenter is one of the best directors. Of
Yeah,
art.
he is.
And by the time a horror series gets to the 5th movie, it's probably time to
It's
die.
time. Yeah, it's slow. Like,
Well,
you're
and
scraping
if you,
the bottom.
If you look
By
at
the
the
time
original
anything-
Halloween, if you look at the original Halloween, some of the things that came together that made it so scary and made it work so well was the low budget of that movie.
Yeah.
Because originally that was going to be set in a high rise, and they had a different deal on it. Well, they didn't have any budget to do that, so they had to fall back to a small town, and it was going to be called the Babysitter Murders, and this was about a guy that kills babysitters is what it was going to be, and then they flipped it around to make it Halloween because that was the scariest night of the year. Is why that they landed on that title. Is what I was always told.
I read an article once that has kind of ruined the original Halloween for me. It was an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis talking about filming the original Halloween, and she was talking about, it's set in Haddonfield, Illinois, which is not even a real place, I don't think. So in other words, it's set in the Midwest in Illinois on Halloween Day, but they filmed it in Southern California. And she was talking about how they had to dress like they were in Illinois, but it was Southern California, and they were hot as fuck. If you watch Halloween, they made no attempt to make it look like Illinois in October. It is Southern California. There's a palm tree in it at one point.
Yeah, there is. There's a palm tree. I knew that.
And
I knew that they had to rake up the leaves they had to import leaves for it, and it's the same set of leaves because they couldn't afford to buy more leaves.
I saw no leaves. I watched it for this purpose just 3 days ago.
Supposedly
Elizabeth-
there are in the background because they one of the articles I read was that they had to keep recycling. They'd have to stop and rake the leaves.
They maybe so. Maybe I was too focused on the actual trees, which are brightly, greened out. It's growing season, here, and I'd never noticed that before. Now that's all I can notice anytime I watch this, and you can see the palm tree.
See, that sucks, man, because I always thought that they did film that in Illinois. I thought they went to Illinois to film that.
No, it's Southern California. Yep.
No, I knew about the palm tree thing. I can look past that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
though.
think that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It would have been so much stupid of me to sit here and talk about how to make Halloween the original better, but it would have been so much better looking back if it had looked a little bit more like fall. I'd never even noticed that before.
But that's the thing that makes John Carpenter so good is because when you were younger watching that, you didn't think twice. It felt like fall.
yeah, and most of it does take place at night.
And
but
it's still like, despite the atmosphere not fitting, it's still such an atmospheric movie.
Yeah, it's still really good. I love that fucking movie.
I do too. I love it.
And, but the
I'm
reason
not,
I love it is because it is so atmospheric. That is the best.
I'm not going to penalize it for green leaves.
You can't get any better than that. If somebody made a movie about like us and Willard and doing all that house that we always talk about.
Yeah, you'd want it in the John Carpenter style.
The jump scares and stuff, and like all the stuff we experienced and stuff. I wouldn't like it because I like more slow burn atmosphere.
I think the scariest scene in Halloween. I just watched it within the past 2 or 3 days. The scariest scene is it's all lighting because it like pans the room. Jamie Lee Curtis is standing there. As it pans, you just catch a faint glimpse of Michael Myers' mask standing behind her. Mm-hmm. Faint glimpse, and that shit's scary as hell.
Aren't there several points where you can see him in the background, kind of?
Yeah,
Or?
there are, but in this one, it's not. Usually, he's the shape. They call him the shape.
Yeah, the shape.
You can usually see the silhouette of a dude standing there. In this one scene, he's standing in a closet door, and you can see nothing but the white on like half the face. It's pretty cool.
The slow motion pursuit of her as she's trying to.
He's walking and she's running.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
I love it.
Anyway, I am going to put that link up
To what, Halloween?
Yeah, we're going to put the link up to Halloween. So no, I'm going to put the link up for that Deborah Moffat story, the Art Bell thing, the YouTube link. I'll put that on the website, and I'll stick that up on the homepage at mwghosthunters.com.
And we'll have more Dark Matter next week from Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri with Midwest Ghost Hunters.